Welcome back to Green is Good. This is the Green Festival's edition of Green is Good. We're here in New York City, New York, and we're so honored to have with us today. This is the boss with us. He's come in from Germany, the boss himself, Roland Bleinroth. Thank you for coming back to Green is Good. This is your second time on, but the first time we're actually taping it on video as well. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, John. It's always a pleasure.
It's great. Now, you are the boss. You're the CEO of Messe Stuttgart. So,
right.
And Messe is a lot bigger than just Green Festival here in America. Can you explain what Messe Stuttgart is?
Well, actually, starting with the word, Messe is actually the German word for trade show. So it's really the Stuttgart Trade Show Company. That's what the name expresses. So you actually have a bunch of those when you go around Germany. There's a Messe Frankfurt, a Messe Hamburg, a Messe Munich, a Messe Berlin. Of course, the most important one is Messe Stuttgart.
Of course it is. Now it makes sense. A trade show, it means. And so give a little bit about the history of both you, because I know it's fascinating, but for our audience members that didn't get to hear the first show, talk a little bit about your journey and how it brought you to Messe Stuttgart and how you've now grown it into such a big international brand.
Well, the history is really a long story. To make that short would be very difficult. In general, Germany's got a bit of a head start in the trade show business.
Okay.
That's because they started like hundreds of years ago.
Wow.
Messe Frankfurt, just to put one example here, was founded in the year 1240. And that's been operating nonstop ever since. A few little breaks here with wars going on, but otherwise it's been in operation since 1240.
1240.
Banks always enjoy that when you tell them that story. When was the company founded?
Right.
1240.
A lot before them. Right.
Hey, that's a mistake. No, it's not. So yes, there's a really, really long history to trade shows. It started with Emperor Frederick II. Now this is way back to before the turn of the century. I mean, first turn of the century, year 940, when he started discovering that trade shows are a good thing for the economy. And that's really where trade shows started in Germany.
Unreal.
So more than 1,000 years ago.
Oh, and then what was your background a little bit, you know, prior to Messe Stuttgart, and then how you joined and made it into an international brand?
Well, personally, I worked for our Frankfurt colleagues for a long time, actually in North America. So I spent 10 years in Atlanta, running the Messe Frankfurt operations here, and we launched quite a few shows in the States and Canada and Mexico.
And you were a trade show expert by just what you were doing prior to Messe Stuttgart.
Well, see, that's one of those things. There are no trade show experts. You learn by doing it.
Okay, I got you.
So actually these days you can actually study it. But when I started, there was no such thing as studying to be a trade show manager. So you would study something like business or marketing or whatnot. And most people got into the trade show business by coincidence, because that's not something that is usually on your map when you're in high school and you say, oh, I want to be a trade show manager.
Gotcha.
Because you usually don't even have that exposure. It's a shame, but that's the way it is. So it has been so far. So same for me. It was a coincidence. At some point I got a call from somebody saying, hey, there is a job and I think this is good for you. And I took a look at it and sure enough it was. And that's one of those other things in the trade show industry. Either people like it and then they really stick with it and they never get out of it again, or they're gone very quickly. Because it is something that takes a special type of breed, I guess, to be successful in trade shows.
And how long ago did you then join on at CEO as Messe Stuttgart?
Messe Stuttgart I joined in 2006, so it's also 10 years, almost 10 years now. So yeah,
okay, so
10 years passed.
Before we get talking about the New York event that we're at and the national events that we're going to be having for the rest of this year, let's talk about home base. What you actually do with Messe Stuttgart back in Germany and how big that is over in Germany.
Well, the German trade show model is a little bit different from the rest of the world. And because of the historic perspective, all of the German trade show organizers also have their own facility. So we actually own a convention center, which is 1.2 million square feet in Stuttgart. In Germany, it's quite new. It's the most modern one in Europe. It only went online at the end of 2007. So it's a really, really nice facility with a lot of bells and whistles and gimmicks and whatnot. I could give you a whole spiel just on that. Very, very interesting. Very comfortable for exhibitors and attendees. And we run about 70 shows annually. So across the board, medical industry, automotive industry, IT industry, lot in B2B, some B2C shows. So it's really across the board.
Year round, there's shows happening, either being put up or being broken down. Year round.
Pretty much year round. There are certain slots on the calendar that don't work. Holidays, of course, are exempt. Vacation time is very difficult to run shows. So
I gotcha.
There are certain slots that just don't work. But the rest, yes, we're booked.
Gotcha. And the Green Festival, Messe Stuttgart Green Festival, explain when that is and how hugely successful it is.
Actually, the US version, the Green Festival here, is older than what we do in Germany. So
really?
Usually it's the opposite. But
yeah.
We just started getting into that particular show segment back in 2007, and we launched the first event, which is a slow food show run with the Slow Food Association of Germany, so as our partners. That was the nucleus. Then there was a garden show, then a home and renovation show, then an energy show, then a yoga show, then an iMobility, intelligent mobility show. So just added up. We now have 8 brands, but they're all individual shows. They're individual brands which are marketed individually.
Wow.
And we don't even have the umbrella brand Green Festival as we have here. They're just 8 individual shows that happen to be concurrent. The attendee comes in with 1 ticket, he gets all 8.
Nice.
And that's how it worked in Germany.
We were talking a little bit prior to filming off air about the success. So share with our audience a little bit how hugely successful it was this year.
Well, that show has really taken off and it's grown from year to year. This year we had 8 halls filled, so that was about 1 million square feet of space covered. There is still a little bit left for growth for the next year, but it's almost filled the entire facility. We had 88,000 attendees, which is up 10% from the previous year.
Wow.
So it was really packed. At some points, the aisles were so packed, it was hard to get through. The show runs 3.5 days, so 1 extra day compared to New York.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, it was a really nice show. People really enjoyed it.
For our audience that just joined us, I've got Roland Bleinroth with us today. He's the CEO of Messe Stuttgart. And to learn more about Messe Stuttgart and all the great trade shows they do year-round, please go to www.messe, Stuttgart, Stuttgart.com, .de.
Either one will work, actually.
Okay, .com. Roland, now let's talk about what you've done here in the USA. You came to the US and you then took over what was already a historical Green Festival situation. Explain your vision on how Messe Stuttgart came into the US now and took over this Green Festival and is now scaling it to new heights.
It was just an opportunity that came along. The former organizers and founders of Green Festival are still on board. 2 major associations here, the Green America and Global Exchange. They founded this particular show 14 years ago.
Okay.
They're still our partners here. They're still promoting the show. They're still backing it.
Okay.
So we were happy to have the opportunity to step on this plate and take it to the next level. That was just an opportunity that came up. We thought it was the right show for us at the right time, in the right place, because North America is certainly ready for it, and we feel we can contribute a little bit to the growth of it.
And how long ago did you take over these shows?
This was in mid-2013.
Okay.
So we're pretty much in a second year now of us operating it. It runs in 5 destinations, 5 cities in North America, and there's probably room for more.
Right, and you know, you have a unique perspective. You're European born, but you spent a lot of years here in the United States.
Right.
And so share a little bit about the differences in sustainability, culturally speaking, in Europe and the US.
Well, particularly Germany, to start there maybe, is pretty much ahead of the US in that particular category. It's been mainstream for the last 30 years or so.
Wow.
It is just becoming mainstream here, which is great, and we're seeing it catching on really, really quickly. But that happened in Germany 30 years ago.
Wow.
So recycling and separating your trash is nothing new to people. That's become a habit.
It's part of the DNA of Germany.
That kids grew up with. They would never expect the trash can to be a single can. It always comes in 3 or 5 incarnations right next to each other. And so people actually grew up with it, and they take a whole different attitude to it. It's not something that you do because somebody tells you this is what you should be doing. It's become natural.
Gotcha. And so, what have you learned from the experiences with the Green Festival? Really not called the Green Festival, as you say, numerous different trade shows underneath one roof. What have you learned from, though, the sustainability version of the Green Festival in Stuttgart that you had 4 weeks ago that you can now apply to scaling and taking the Green Festivals in the USA to new heights?
Well, there are probably a couple lessons. One of the most important ones is for people to grasp that it is not expensive, that it is not something that will cost them an arm and a leg if they really make intelligent choices about what they consume and what they buy. And that is not really the case. You can be conscious of what you buy and to be conscious of how you spend your dollars without having to spend more. So the choices are out there. It's a matter of finding it. And again, since it's a little bit more challenging to find these really good products. That's why you should come to the Green Festival, because this is where they are. And people are actually excited when they walk through the hall and they discover great products that they never had heard of, they haven't seen at their retailer. And we have retailers coming in who feel the same way about it.
So it's the Green Festival is truly B2C and B2B.
Yes, it's a hybrid show, which is the same in Germany, and it actually has to be, because there are many small companies here, and they need also a sustainable business base, not just 3 days of business here now that will not take them for the rest of the year. So they will definitely need the retail exposure. We've worked on that a lot the last 2 years to get the retail community to come here also. So yes, we want the B2B business.
So Roland, this year, when you look at all the cities that you're going to, and here we are today in beautiful New York City, what new sponsors are you excited about that have signed on, and which ones are you still really visioning and hoping to get in the future?
I can still imagine a really, really long list of sponsors that could be involved, that should be involved. But that's nice also to see that more and more are catching on. Maybe most prominently, to start at the very top, the platinum sponsors is VW, Volkswagen, and Audi. Those are our platinum sponsors.
They've signed on this year.
They signed on this year, and they will be presenting their electric and hybrid vehicles only. Not the mainstream of everything else they do, but they will be highlighting their electric vehicles.
Wonderful.
Hybrid vehicles. Ford was on board for many years in the past. So yes, that's also very exciting to see that the vehicle industry is really discovering that electric mobility is an economical option.
And your type of clients that come here will respond to that. So they're seeing this as a very important place to showcase their new products.
It's a great opportunity to get the message out to the customer. And again, you'd be surprised that just on the vehicle side, how much is already possible.
Do you have some brands that are already showcasing their products back in Stuttgart that want to now come and bring their brands to the US yet?
Yes, that's happening also, and we're very excited about that happening. Some products are actually making the jump across the Atlantic. One is right here next to us doing test drives with bicycles. It's a Swiss company called Stroma, also become a sponsor here. They do all 5 cities in the US now. And these are gorgeous, really gorgeous bikes. You gotta see them.
Electric bikes.
Electric bikes, yes, of course, you still pedal, but you've got electric support to it. But they're designed from the ground up. So it's not a bicycle with an added electric motor and battery attached somewhere, which always looks clumsy and not so attractive. These bikes are really designed beautifully, and they ride like a charm. You get 50 miles on one charge. It's amazing.
But that's a fascinating marketing principle. So you really have then some very wonderful and long-term sponsors and folks that have been involved with Messe Stuttgart that can now see the real, as you said earlier in the show, the rise of sustainability in the U.S. and take advantage of their relationship with you and now bring their products here to the U.S. for the U.S. public.
Exactly, and it's working the opposite way too. Just earlier this morning I was talking to an exhibitor here who does little, really very, very small types of saunas. It's not really a sauna, but it looks of infrared light. very, very interesting product, and we just chatted about him coming to Germany because...
so the reverse even is possible.
His product is already certified in Germany. He can market it immediately, and he's very excited about the opportunity to see that there's a green festival in Germany that he can now take advantage of. So it's going both ways. Yes, this business, like any business, is becoming international also.
How is the trade show industry as a whole? Because you are one of the real leaders of the trade show industry. How is the trade show industry helping push forward the green movement and sustainability movement so it moves faster through society?
Like always, it's an evolutionary process, and it does take some time. We currently run trade shows, different trade shows, not just to a green festival in 6 countries around the world. So we're doing quite a few countries.
Wow.
The Green Festival right now is in Germany, and it's here in the US. Hasn't gone anywhere else yet, but we're certainly looking at other countries. And just to give you one visionary thought here, maybe, China is going to come up. Yes, this is a topic that will be an issue in China. Not just yet, but give it a couple of years. I'm only talking a couple of years here. I could see this happening in 2 or 3 years in China.
Messe Stuttgart bringing green festivals or a sustainability forum to China. Yes, that makes sense.
We run a lot of shows in China, and we see in the construction industry, in industrial sectors, in agriculture, how the Chinese are becoming conscious of what they're doing to the environment, what they're doing in wasting energy, and all the rest of the sustainability problems that China is really at the top of the pyramid. And they're recognizing it, and they're changing their ways, and they're very, very interested to discover how to do it. So I can see this happening in China in just a couple of years.
I see this year to your lineup of cities, Roland, you've added Portland. Can you share with our audience, why have you added Portland? Why is Portland now part of the Green Festivals program?
Well, Portland became a destination due to the feedback from our exhibitor base. We spend a lot of time and effort surveying our customers. One of those old wisdoms of business: listen to your customer.
Right.
We do that.
Smart.
We survey our attendees a lot and our exhibitors, including the ones that are not coming. And one of the outcomes was Portland is a hub that people are very interested in. So we said, okay, our customer wants Portland. We will take a closer look at it. We did. We found it verified that there is a very interesting market in Portland. So we launched Portland for the first time this year. And it's actually going quite well. So
that's exciting.
We're excited about the first show there.
I've seen as an employer here in the United States, Roland, that we have a lot of young people that come to work for our company, but because people can work virtually now, they want to live and work from Portland. So we actually have some employees out of Portland, and they're young, they love sustainability.
Right.
And so I think you've chosen a winner of a location. I'm excited to go up there and bring Green is Good to Green Festivals in Portland. We're down to the last 2 minutes, and I want to give you the opportunity. You've come all this way from Germany to be here at this wonderful event that you're putting on, Messe Stuttgart's putting on. What final thoughts do you have for our audience members, both consumers and potential exhibitors in the United States and around the world, before we sign off for today?
It's always exciting to be at this type of event at the Green Festivals, to see the enthusiasm that's out here. We have 800 volunteers just in New York.
Wow.
Working on this event behind the scenes, mostly sorting trash, to name one, which a lot of our volunteers do. We have a zero footprint here. There's no waste that the show produces. All the energy that we use, electricity, is green, recycled, not recycled, renewable energies.
Right.
So
no footprint.
No footprint. There's no carbon footprint here. We work on this show actually being green, not only having it in the name.
Nice.
And it's exciting how people are willing to work for that as volunteers. And we have that in New York, and as well as in the other destinations as well. So to really see that movement, that people don't see it just as a commercial enterprise, but really as a mission, is really exciting, really fun.
Thank you so much. Roland, it's always an honor to have you on. We want to have you back on at any of the other Green Festivals this year. And Green is Good is so honored to participate as a media partner with Green Festivals. It's truly an honor for us. And for our audience out there, to learn more about Roland's great company, Messe Stuttgart, go to www.messe-stuttgart.com. Again, this is Green is Good. This is the Green Festival edition of Green is Good here in New York City, New York. Come to the green festivals all around the United States. This year they've added Portland. Go to www.greenfestivals.org to check them out. And also you can go to messestuttgart.com as well. Roland, you are a sustainability superstar and truly living proof
Thank you, John.
green is good.
Thank you. Green is good. You got that right.
Thank you.
Thank you.